Hello everybody, Jim's Kitchen here. I've got Mr. Entertainment, Mike Falcon with me. We're going to carry on from where we left off in our last chat.
Aye.
Where were we?
Yeah, we were still doing the pontins and that. But again, I think I said to you, the road changes and you choose to go down one road. You don't know whether if you'd have gone down that road, things would have been different. You make your plans, you make your decisions, and you live with it, you know. And as I told you, I was working with a band called The Colours, and we'd done very well. No television exposure, you know, but we were working all the theatres in Glasgow, Aberdeen. I still toured Scotland for many years, living on people had seen me. But I don't know what happened with the. In my mind, I got that I wanted to go into as a solo entertainer, so I wasn't relying on anybody. I had all my music written by the MD at the camp.
Yeah.
But because I'd worked clubs before, I have a contract in this bundle here, which I should have found before. And it was for the first club I can remember doing was Cobwall Club in Blackburn. Now, people think a Cobwall Club is that big building which held a couple of hundred. Yeah. When I worked it was two houses knocked together. And concert secretary said to me, he says, you know, he says, I like what you do. He says, but I can't put you on an evening one. He said, I'll give you Sunday dinner. He said, and I'll give you £3.5 crowns. That's 7 and 6. He says, and another £0.5 if you get an encore.
So the pressure was on.
I got 2 encores, but I never got the £0.5 crown.
Did you not?
Yeah. And I wanted to work as a solo act. And of course, in them days, every club had its backing. Sometimes piano, bass and drums. That were the best. Oh, yeah. That were the best. If you had piano, bass and drums, you sounded like a real act. Yeah. And then you get other places. The Hammond organs were all coming in. And a lot of them were pianists. And they went on to organ and they weren't very good.
No, it is a different instrument.
They lost it, you know. But what I did then, I was working men's clubs all winter, and then summer, I've done 36 summer seasons. Wow. You know, but every summer I went away, and acts around home couldn't work out why I worked. Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday dinner, Sunday night on the clubs every week, and they couldn't work it out that I was away for 6 months.
Right. So you can't, yes.
And I'd do a show in January, February, and March, and book them for November, December. You know, and so for quite a few years, that's how it went. As I say, I went back every summer working the old style holiday camps. You can't explain it to people these days. No. They think of holiday camp with loads of caravans and this, that and the other. It's a totally different audience. Yeah. Do you know, I ran a holiday camp in the Dean's Holiday Village, that one, Dean's Holiday Village. Yeah.
So that's Lowestoft, near Lowestoft.
Lowestoft, yeah. And I was there for 5 years. And with two venues, with the main venue in the holiday camp, but that was a proper holiday camp with chalets and that. And adjoining us were a caravan park, which was owned by the same company, you know. And it's true, you could get an act and you put him on or them on at the main complex. Yes. And they go a bomb. But in the contract, they did the second show in the other park, which, believe me, it's from here to then to your trampoline. That's how near they are.
Yeah.
And they go on there and die a death. You know, same act, exactly the same act. And I'd even swap them round. So they did the first spot there, and it still happened. Because it was a different audience. We were getting to the time where we were having different audiences. Instead of, like on a holiday camp, it was everybody joining, everybody's part of it. Whereas in a caravan park, they were all separate people. You never got them together. And they'd come in the bar, and they weren't necessarily there for the show, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
And I found out then it was a totally different kind of audience.
Yeah.
And when all the old holiday camps, your Pontins, your Warners, Bucklins, when they, after package holidays came in, the holiday makers who used them went abroad. The other holiday makers bought a caravan on the site. You'd have the same audience for 6 months.
Yeah, whereas on a normal like holiday camp, you'd have a different audience every 2 weeks, wouldn't you?
That's it, yeah. So it were a totally different game. At that time, I'd been to London with the band The Colours, and we'd done all right doing the circuit there.
Yeah.
And while I was working the holiday camps, it was when the comedians came on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, all I did, I nicked a bit of his act, a bit of his act, a bit. People don't admit it, but that's how we did it, you know. And I started doing, because a comedian got paid a tenner more, say, and that's a lot of money.
Oh,
A tenner more. So I was always billed in London as a singer, comedian, And but we worked that with the band. So I thought I'll go back to London, have a bash at London. And
on your own?
Yeah. Doing the, and you see by contracts, you know, I worked all over London for Top Talent Agency. And so I was getting about £12-15 a night, whereas and I used to work on Northern clubs. By then I was getting 20-25. But London, they worked 7 nights.
Right.
You know, it was more profitable to be there, work 7 nights a week. And they did a lot of what they call package shows. And I was doing comedy and singing. I'd open with a song, 10 minutes comedy, a song, 10 minutes comedy, a song. And they were doing a lot of package tours to the working men's clubs, where they'd have 3 or 4 acts on. And I was top of the bill because I came from North and I spoke the comedy. The comedy was what they were seeing
Northern
on telly.
Comic,
I was telling all their gags. And I was doing these package shows, which, honestly, I tell you what, I did one show, and one of the lads is supposed to be a dancer, and my management would say, whatever you do, don't let him sing. You know, now, we're not like that, are we? You know, but he says, they're in the dressing room, they didn't know me then, and he says, this singer come down from North, and he won't let anybody sing. You know, and I thought, oh God. Anyway, we had a young girl on the show, and she was trying to be as nice as I can. It's over 50 years ago, so she won't be listening. She was rather fat.
Yeah.
Lovely girl.
Yes.
Rather fat. And he said to this girl, she's waiting to go on, I'm doing the introduction, and he said to this girl, and what do you do? She said, I'm a singer. He said, opera, you're fat enough. And this poor girl had to walk out, nearly in tears, you know. And she was a lovely girl, and she had a lovely, sweet voice. She was doing like Sandy Shaw numbers and that kind of thing. And she was good. But this lad who really got up my back, you know.
Ah, bet.
And I said to him, I says, oh, I believe you like a bit of, you do a bit of singing. I said, do you fancy doing a couple?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. I said, well, tomorrow night, you know, we were going round. I said, tomorrow night, you're on.
Get him set
You
up.
know, yeah. But before he went on, I did my big numbers.
Right.
Love is all. When you were sweet 16, and I had I'd already had them in my hand, you know, absolutely. And then I brought this lad on, and he was terrible. He was pathetic, and you know.
Serves him right.
And then as he walked up, I said, do you do a bit of opera? You know, but
I like it.
you know, I tell you, who was on the bill on one of these tours, and our Robert was just a little lad, and I took him with us to show Brian Connolly.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm in the dressing room, and he said, Dad, nobody's laughing or clapping. I said, you watch him, he is going to be a star. And he said, why? I said, because he's doing things that these people have never seen before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that were Dunstable Cement Club. I remember
Dunstable Cement Club.
Yeah, I remember it as long as I lived. And within 6 months, you were on telly.
You were on telly. Yeah, so you could see
Yeah,
that.
but you could see the way you walked on, you know, the way you walk on a stage, the way two most important parts of your act are you play on and you play off.
Right.
You know, the play off can build the applause, and not that I get a lot these days, but you get what I mean? And stage presence. You know, you could see that he owned that stage, even though nobody were.
At Dunstable Cement Club.
That's the one. Dunstable Blue Circle Cement Club.
But I mean, we're talking about that. That's you know, I'm working with Art Weavers, and folk music has always had its own sort of niche that doesn't necessarily follow the same things as showbiz. Although the Art Weavers have never been a standard folk act; they've always been a showbiz sort of act. Because our Tony came from clubs, like he was singing Frank Sinatra stuff in clubs before he joined Art Weavers, and it's sort of Art Weavers more brought folk music to the masses rather than sort of a niche thing in so we're all talking about the same thing.
There are neat things now. The shows that I do are all theme shows. I've been on old time music halls, and there I'm doing me When I Grow Too Old to Dream, and Silver Threads Among the Gold, all that, and then I do a rock and roll show. Here's a story. You know the Solid Silver show that goes around with Marty Wilde. And they had a band there called Rocking Horse, backing the whole tour. And when they got to Preston, the theatre in Preston, in centre there. When they got to Preston, I got a phone call from my management company, and they said, Mike, are you working for the next 3 nights? I said, no. They said, will you go and work with Rocking Horse, 3 rock and roll numbers, and then bring on the first act, you know? And it was Marty Wilde and Joe Brown.
Fantastic.
You know, thing. Anyway, we were talking about being match fit, weren't we? Well, I hadn't done a theatre show for a month, you know. And I went on, and I'm at it, giving it, you know, sometimes I will, then again I think I won't. I'm sweating like thing. I'm not getting my breath. And I started giggling. And when you start giggling, the band start giggling. They don't know what I'm giggling about. They start, and the front row, and everybody's giggling. And so I finished the song, and I said to the audience, I said, I'm sorry about that. I said, but I'm not match fit. I'm out of breath, blah, blah, blah. I said, and I look to the side at stage, and the next act on is Marty Wilde, and his opening is 76, and his opening number is Why Must I Be a Teenager in Love? And it just struck me so, and it just shows that, you know, I did there, and I did Carlisle, by Carlisle, right, you know, is it Sam's at Carlisle? Anyway, Carlisle, and one in southern Scotland on the way, and then the singer's voice were right. But because I'm known for certain things, you know, they'll say, "Oh, we're looking for an out-time singer. Oh, get Mike. Want a rock and roll show?" Well, you know I have all the rock and roll gear.
I know, because I've bought it.
I have it for the band, whatever band I'm with.
Anybody who saw last Alton Weaver's Christmas tour will have seen some of Mike's gear, because I was wearing one of his jackets when I did a Teddy Bar thing.
Yeah. So, you know, it's funny that, you know, if somebody sees me as a certain act, do you know, the people who book me as a Punch and Judy man would never dream that I could be a singer. They say, "Well, it's brilliant, Punch and Judy man, probably just singing outside." And it's saying when I'm singing, "Oh, good act.
Punch and Judy outside.
What does he do, Punch and Judy outside?"
So you've got your singing act, you've got your Punch and Judy act, your children's entertainment act, which involves comedy, magic. Do you even do balloon?
Balloons. Yeah, and we haven't got to the point where I've worked pantomime. I did 18 weeks with Ken Dodd at Palace Theatre, Manchester.
Fantastic.
That was pantomime. I was playing Bosun's Mate.
Right.
Plus I've got the contract in there. Plus we did the vocal backings for Ken. Wow. You know, off stage, the vocal backings. And I got a lot of work through that. I've played Dame. But then, you see, I got into that. If we have time, I've got to tell you where Punch and Judy comes in.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, because I was working the working men's clubs around Wigan, Blackburn, anywhere I got booked. And I used to work Abraham Labour Club, which is Wigan Way, and I used to always do a Wednesday night. And so I'd have that in twice a year, and that Wednesday night meant my weekend was Friday, Saturday, Sunday lunch, Sunday night, which gave me a good wage, you know, for the week. But he come up to me and says, "Hey, Matt, can you give us a Saturday concert set?" I said, "I can't really." I said, I'd rather do my Wednesdays." He said, "No," he says, we're only booking rubbish acts on a Wednesday." He says, "Because there's not many in, you know." So I'd lost quite a few of them Wednesdays. They'd either dropped out doing them, or this, that, and the other. And I thought, how am I going to make up a night's wage? That was the bonus. You know what I mean? If you had a couple of extras, it's a bonus. I thought, what am I going to do? And then I thought, I know what, if I could get a kids show once a week.
Yes.
That'd make it up.
Your money,
yeah. And so I got a friend of mine over in Bury had a magic shop, and I bought a few magic props. And again, it's practice, you know. And within 2 weeks, and Yellow Pages had just come out.
All right, yeah.
Yellow Pages, and I'd already gone in Yellow Pages in Manchester, Blackburn, you know, there were good areas. And I got one job, and then every time I do a show, say I have 30 kids in there and 30 mums and dads, I've a potential of 30 jobs. You don't need to I don't advertise at all, man, so it's on my car. You know. And the work just come in. And at that time I was doing 3 separate shows in people's houses. I'd do an 11 o'clock show till 12, 2 till 3, 4 till 6. And remember, it's take all your gear in, bring all your gear out, do the show.
So you must have been match fit then.
Oh, I was, yeah. But that's where Punch and Judy is now, it's overtaken my life. I mean, I start on I don't know when this is going on, but Easter Saturday I start in Happy Mount Park, and I'm there 9 times during the year. I work for Padiham Council, Burnley Council, Morecambe Council, and the same shows every year, rebooking for 25, 35, 40 years.
That's fantastic.
Every time.
Are there many other Punch and Judy men on the circuit now?
Every seaside town you'll find have a Punch and Judy man. They might not work the beach anymore.
No.
That changed. Working beach changed when we changed money.
Yes.
You know, when we went decimal.
Yes.
Beforehand, you used to have a pocket full of change, if you remember.
Right.
And you pull your hand out, you'd have pennies, halfpennies, threepenny
bits, tanners.
If there's some tanners underneath,
Yeah.
we call that that's the, people just walk past and they throw it in your hat.
Yeah.
You know, and you could make a good do. If you had an out on a Saturday, say, you could make a good do. But when the money changed, they'd only a few coins and they wouldn't give you any tens and just old pennies, you know. And for most Punch and Judy men, if I work Blackpool now, but it's paid for by the council.
Right.
I do about 4 a year where they bring kids from all over on coaches. They get a bucket and spade each. They get they either go around the rock factory. Then they all get a donkey ride each, and then I'm the end.
And are you on promenade or on beach or what?
I'm not on the beach. I'm on, you know where South Pier is here?
Yes.
There's a big thing of grass. Yeah, I'm on there.
Right.
And they go and have the donkey ride, build the castles. Yeah. They come up here, the coaches are there, I do the show, and then they go. Right. You know. And I've been doing that for years. It's for schools, that, you know. Right. But you couldn't make a living now. Well, you couldn't make the money out of it now with coins, you know. No. And we've been through trials as well, you know. A lot of councils stopped having us because of violence and this and
violence,
yeah, but they don't. When you explain to anybody that it's actually good over evil.
Yes, it's
good always wins.
Yeah.
You know, Mr. Punch never wins. He's always locked up.
Yeah, it's like thing till death us do part. He was the sort of racist and Alf Garrett, but he always lost.
Yeah,
he was never. And they can't show that now. Yeah. But he always lost. It was Mr. said these people exist. Here it is. You know, violence exists. Yeah. But anyway, it's but we're sorry, Mark. I mean, but I'm very interested. Where does Punch and Judy really originate from? A very early.
The first mention of Punch and Judy is 1666 by Samuel Pepys in his diary. He said he was walking through Covent Garden and saw a play called Punch and Judy. Wow. Yeah. And it's the longest continuously running show, even beats Shakespeare. Yeah. Because Shakespeare was shut down during after the Civil War when Cromwell came in.
Punch and Judy's carried on.
Yeah. And it was, and you know, to this very day we're allowed to set up in any churchyard in the country without permission. Wow. Because it's a passion play.
Yeah,
you know, and it all dates back. And it was originally an adult performance.
Yes.
It was all for adults.
Like a moral.
Yeah, a moral story. It was outside the pubs. It was that thing. And then when railways came in, and the crowds started going to your Southports, your Blackpools, and down south your Margates, your Bournemouth, right, taking hundreds of people there with money. And the Punch and Judy man went there, and you'll find that most of them, it's hand-me-down. Yeah. Most of Punch and Judy men have learned from the dad, and it's always been a good living, so they've done it.
Yeah. And have you done that?
My son does Punch and Judy. My grandson has all the scripts. He does it.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah.
And like I said to him, you can make more money in a weekend than you make all week working. Yeah. And I said, do it as a part-time job. You know, and I had a friend who did kids shows and everything. He hated it. He was very good at it, but he hated it. And I said, well, why do you do it? He said, see me car, a beautiful car, brand new car. He said, I just do it so I can drive that.
That's it.
He paid his car. Yeah. You know, but it's never been that with me. The more you get into it, it's like folk music. I mean, the more you get into it, I mean, I love John Tans, you know, and 14 shillings on the drum.
No, that's good. No, I love that song.
Yeah. Once you get into it, it becomes part of your life. Yeah.
Well, this is one of many chats I'm going to have with Mark. We're going to leave it. I find it fascinating to talk about Punch and Judy, and I'm going to have him back to do a show for grandkids.
No bother.
Well, and thanks very much.
I'll tell you what, if he films it and people start using my lines.
Nice to see you again, Mark.
What a fantastic day it's been.